I'm using Alt S to pull them in the direction of the normal, to pull this loop in the direction of the normal. So something like this, so that we can bend this over. I want more resolution here, but the problem is that if I add a loop here, it will just add extra loops in this side that I don't need. So also let me correct this mirror modifier, add clipping for this mirror modifier, and let me first turn off the bend, the simple deform, and then correct this, so that is like that. So instead of adding a loop here, I'm just going, sorry, instead of adding a loop that goes all the way to this side, that will simply add more resolution where we don't need it. We can just rotate it around, I think, here. So if you select this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then subdivide, we can add a loop that rotates like that. So you can see if we add a loop there, instead of it going all the way this side, it will just rotate around like that. So we need to just correct some of these. Yeah, the knife tool will be helpful, but then you will have to add. I think it would be a lot of work for this part here. It would just what I did. I think is more easier than using the knife tool because it would subdivide the area, the edges in the middle. But if you use the knife tool, let's say you would have to do this. And it wouldn't be in the middle, it would be just estimating, and then you would have to do that again. It's a lot of steps for me, so that's why I'm choosing to do. So if we add the bend, there is pinching here. Okay, so it seems that we have a few faces. If we turn off the mirror modifier, we have a faces here, so we can delete them. Because if we have those, you'll see that there is pinching there, so we need to delete them. So that is carved like that. Now we can add the shading, and now we can start adding these support legs. So let me turn off simple deform and subdivision surface. So the support legs are around here. The first one, let me around here, and you just need to extrude down, and it should be the height of the table. So this is around here, so it should be around there. But I think we need more resolution for this. So we can either add a loop that goes all the way there, which I think is okay since we need that resolution anyways. So then we can push these, scale these so that this is rounded like that. Maybe we can move this edge loop in a bit like that. You can see it starts out small and then becomes big at around here, so we can add a loop for that, scale that out. Now if we turn on subdivision surface, then the bend modifier, you can see what we have. I think it's too big or thick at the top here, so we can scale that in and then scale that in like that. Nice. And so we also need the support for the back here. So for that, let's also first turn off these modifiers again. So where are we? Here. And then let's see. So we can use it's around here. So I think what we can do is, let me see if we can get away with that. We can add a loop here, or we can just bevel this. Control B, bevel that. But, maybe join this with that, and then join this with that. We can remove this edge loop. So maybe join that with that. Now we need to make that like that, and maybe smaller. And we can, why you not make support separate? It is helpful. It will be helpful to duplicate later. What you mean? Why I don't make the legs separate? I just want to keep it as one mesh instead of having too many objects. And you can see this is not. It also looks like it's like welded into the. Obviously, this is wood, so it can't be welded, but it's kind of glued to the object. You don't see any separation directly here. I think it was how is it called? Brushed. I don't know. To make it look like. Yeah. Thanks, guys. So let's extrude this as well. So I'll scale this down and then extrude to the same level as these legs. And just to be sure, I'll just select these and scale them at the same level, and then add a loop here and add a loop around there. So now if we turn on this, we have that. We need a support loop for the bottom part. I think this is too big, so we can scale it down and maybe add a loop here. Scale it down as well, add a loop here, scale it down as well, so we have something like that. And now when we turn on the simple deform, we get something like this. But I think we need, let's see, let's scale this in the X direction and see. I think these legs, let me see. If I turn off the subdivisions, I think they need to be bent a bit, so I'll use the shear tool, bend them like that, and maybe forward a bit, so something like that, and I can move them forward as well, small, and then also do the same for this. They need to be bent just a bit, and bent also backwards a bit, so move that to the back like that, and then turn on the simple deform, and then we have something like that. Let me turn on edit them directly here, because I see these ones are bending inside instead of outside, so I'll select them, use the shear. What direction is this? Yes, I think it's supposed to be bent out like that. It's going out too much, so we can pull it Yes, so now we can add this here. I think, let's see, can we separate this as an object, or should we just do this directly? Let me turn off the simple deform. So we need the spot. We need this here. So it should be around here. So if we bevel these loops, we can also, I think we can connect this loop, this face. We can bridge this face to this bridge, to this face, to have something like that. We would need a few loops here, but that would make this area too sharp. So let's first add a few loops here, and turn on the subdivision surface. So this would look like this. I think we also need a few loops. So if I select these edges and maybe this here and this here and this side as well, the bottom part, I can bevel them like that. And now if we turn on subdivision, you can see what we have. We need to do this. So if we turn on the curve, the simple deform, we get that. But we need more loops here so that we follow. Because you see right now it's just straight. We need to add more loops here so that it can also be bent. Maybe that's too much bend, but so it's okay. It doesn't have to be exactly what we have here. So we also need to do the same for this side. Let me turn off simple deform. For this side, we need to extrude this and delete the inside loop and select these edges. Then bevel, simple deform, then that. See what we have. If you want to make them straight, you would just bend them inside or reduce the simple deform, but I don't want to reduce the simple deform, so I would just bend them the opposite direction. Maybe I think this is too much, too many vertices. Makes it harder to edit, so I will remove that and also remove that. Select this, scale it in the X direction. Let me first turn off subdivision. Scale X, kind of proportional editing, scale X. Now if you don't want it to be bent like that, you can just bend it the opposite direction to offset the bend of the subdivision of the simple deformer. So you get something like that. I think we also need to, because you see this bend here, I don't want it, so I can, let me first turn off subdivision. It slows down my workspace, I don't know why. I use the shear tool for this and it's not helping. I'll just do that and also bring this in like that. So now we have something like that. So we also need to do the same for this area, and for that, if we turn